Dear students, good morning. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 26th November 2020. The first article for discussion is Jobs, Exports and Trade Pacts. There are two things which have motivated this particular article in the Hindu today. One, India rejected joining RCEP. Second, External Affairs Minister Mr. Jaishankar has criticized the free trade agreements as a reason for deindustrialization. In this context, Aravinda Subramanian and then we have Professor Shaumitro Chatterjee. These people wrote a paper about India's growth story, that is boom years of 2003 to 2012. What are the highlights of those papers we need to understand here. Before going into the topic, let me explain a small thing to you. So a 10 lakh rupees is given as a loan to an entrepreneur, a person starting an institute, a person starting a steel factory, or to a person who is running a leather industry, or to a person who is into agriculture. Among these different people, whom we have to give that loan if we intend to create jobs? Obviously, if you keep that to the leather or textile or agriculture, the number of livelihoods that will be protected or number of jobs that will be created will be high. These are called as labor intensive industries. In these circumstances, what are India's major exports? Textiles, leather, agricultural products. That clearly shows that the exports from India, they have created economic growth, and this economic growth also have brought in jobs. So from 2003 to 2012, what Aravind Subramanian and Shaumitro Chatterjee says is Indian exports grew at 12%. This 12% growth is essentially made India prosperous and also created jobs for India. In Hyderabad, GHMC elections are going on. That's why all streets are noisy. Please bear with me for a day. Right. 2003 to 2012, if we observe, Indian exports grew at 12%. Definitely, that has created the jobs. And at some point of time, it is criticized as jobless growth for the reason that the services sector, especially IT industry growth, failed to create jobs as anticipated. But on the other side, exports in the manufacturing and agricultural field has created sufficient jobs too. What made all it possible? That is free trade agreements and multilateral agreements. The open trade across the world made this possible. Today, government moving away from RCEP or criticizing the free trade agreements ultimately keeps us a step away from protectionism. So, India, if it has to create jobs, what it has to remember? It has to ensure exports of its products. And making a cake and eating the cake, that attitude do not work in the long run. This is the point we need to remember. Next is refining trade union strategies to strike a chord. In this article, we need to know what are trade union strategies. Whenever there is a problem for the trade unions, the most important strategy they can involve themselves with is the social dialogue. Let's take Indian Labour Conference is there. So this can be pivotal in initiating the social dialogue and taking up the necessary support. After that, with the existing government, they can go for political lobbying or use the opposition for political confrontation, or they can go to judiciary for a legal action, or go for international intervention through ILOs, internationally reputed bodies, or direct industrial action like Bandh, etc. In India, the trade unions are not very strong in using all these strategies. They directly go for industrial action. In this case, their jobs are on fire. Today, labor codes are being passed by the government. There are serious objections for the trade unions on these labor codes. Let us understand them. Opposition has boycotted the parliament. Obviously, there was only the say of the government which passed. And second, the trade unions were not called for any talks or negotiations, just they did it as a mockery. And hire and fire mechanism, lack of social security, all these going to weaken the trade union or labor protections in India. So, the labor unions or trade unions have to explore the other options, especially the legal option. And also, India being the signatory of various norms or protocols with ILO, India also, they can also explore ILO's option. That is what this article is stating. Moment of reckoning. Let us understand this topic with a question. Why many political parties in India do not have strong secondary leadership? During the Nehru time, there was strong secondary leadership in India. After the Indira Gandhi era, especially in Congress, the secondary leadership was almost killed. Today's death of Congress party can be attributed to absence of secondary leadership. Then what is the reason for this absence of secondary leadership? Tell me. The major reason is lack of voice to the people. And why this lack of voice? This is due to excessive centralization in political parties and also high command politics in India. And this centralization is intricately connected with dynastic politics. Most of the regional political parties and also Congress like central political parties, they have dynastic politics. On the other side, left and the right, that is BJP on the rightist, leftist political parties, these are more driven by ideologies. Other than that, most of the centrist political parties, these are dynastic in India. So this has weakened the opposition space as the people lost confidence in the dynastic spaces and there was no effective leadership. The opposition space has become more and more weak. In a democracy, weak opposition space can be dangerous. There is a popular saying in a democracy, if opposition has a say, government has a way. It means government has to perform, opposition has to say pitfalls of their performance that has to be there in a democracy. In this case, an alternative vision, if it has to be created, a strong opposition party is required. If Congress has to revitalize, it has to take its internal elections very seriously. It is a surprise to note that Congress do not have a permanent working president as on today. Next is we don't need no edtech control. So recently you might have seen this ad, White Hat Junior. What is this? These are coding classes for children. What is the software? What is technology is all about? Is it solving the real life problems or not? So real life problems we have to solve. We need to have real life experiences. Will coding solve everything? Coding is just a means, just a tool, just an instrument. So experience in the real life world, experiencing the wider questions, problems, real world needs makes us to or helps us to solve a problem. So coding versus real world needs, what has to be taught to children? We have to teach them the real world needs. That's how I can put it as. Let us come to the America story, transition troubles, America is back, Trump challenge. All these articles I am covering it as a single go. America is divisive like never before. The weaknesses of election system were exposed by Mr. Trump. In this case, what the Trump challenge has showed to America, the first thing is lack of uniform election system across the states. This time American democracy was able to survive. Tomorrow, if another formidable challenge comes up, how it is going to face it is a bigger question. So that's why reforming the American election system is the first duty of that particular country. And second, transition troubles. Yesterday, GSA General Services Administration Chief has allowed Mr. Biden team to take over. In this scenario, the challenges before the Biden team are this: COVID-19, it has to be addressed immediately. Second thing is gaining the control of the administration is very much important. There are many people who believe in conspiracy theories, both in normal public and also in top bureaucracy, that Trump did not lose. In that case, legitimacy of Mr. Biden's election itself is being questioned now. Winning the people and making sure that he has the legitimacy of his decisions is important. Mr. Trump being active on social media, there is more life for these conspiracy theories. And finally, I can put it as bridging a charm, bridging the real issues and the gulf developed between America and the world is the biggest challenge before the Biden. These are the points. Cyclone Never. Yes, it is going to cross the coast at Puducherry. Obviously, Chennai and Puducherry, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry are having huge rain. And in this case, try to see the disaster management protocol for your examination. Next is Bhutan establishes formal ties with Germany. In 1949, India and Bhutan signed a friendship agreement. Since then, Bhutan was using Indian missions abroad for its diplomatic relations. Later in 2007, when Bhutan became a democracy, Bhutan started appointing or establishing its own missions. Initially with 22 countries, now it is expanded to 53 countries. The latest in the list is the Germany. So, most of these countries are providing support or aid to Bhutan in one or the other form. And next, Bhutan has a clear strategy or clear conscience that it don't want to have permanent missions on P5 countries. It means it don't want to get into this global politics. So permanent 5, in this US and China, they wanted to establish their embassies in Bhutan and Bhutan did not agree till date. These are the points. Next is, India has banned 43 more apps of China and Chinese embassy has released a statement saying India resorting to this banning, citing security and sovereignty issues regularly without providing the appropriate proofs. And China says that it is violative of market principles and WTO rules. So it is not good for relations between these two countries. That is what China intends to say. This is Dr. Rambabu signing off for Law Excellence. Thank you.